bringing a salary between £65,000 to £1,000,000. Wow, let's put the money away. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I do know that a lot of you like to talk about money. I know that a lot of you are bothered about how much money you will make if you were a solicitor, a barrister, a paralegal, legal exec, or you have a law degree and you were to take up a job with your law degree. If you haven't seen my video where I talked about how much lawyers make and paid specific attention to how much solicitors make, you should see that video after this video. This video is going to be talking about how much barristers make in a year. And the reason why I have gone for a year as opposed to how much they would make in a month is because it's easier to round up how much a person makes in a year than in a month. This is mostly because barristers are self-employed, at least 80% of them, and 20% would work in companies, in-house, or any other establishments. Now, if you do not know what self-employed means, it means that you are employed by yourself. So barristers will work under a covering which we call chambers. Solicitors work in firms, barristers work in chambers. So if you haven't seen the video where I took you around chambers and discussed in some length what barristers do as opposed to what solicitors do, you should see that video. Qualified barristers with at least 10 years experience in private practice can actually bring in a salary between £65,000 to £1,000,000. Wow. But you see, if you were to be making £1,000,000 in a year, you would have to be working crazy hours. You can actually have a mental breakdown, a physical burnout, or you can actually lose your family in the process. You can lose your social life. There's so much that you can lose. So I do not want you to go away thinking that you should become a barrister, make £1,000,000 a year, and that you will live a very happy life. Many of us as professionals actually are struggling. Many people do not tell you what they struggle with, but even the Law Society and our regulators do know that a lot of us are stressed at work and that we have burnouts. So I do not want you to think that you will definitely make £1,000,000. I would rather that you have passion for the law and then the money will definitely come in. Yes, people make about £1,000,000. Even solicitors can make up to that, especially if you're self-employed. I mean, the sky is the limit. If you work in a place where you have to wait for the manager to die before you get a promotion, it might be that you're stuck on a particular salary, for instance £50,000 a year, until you grow grey. Yes, just joking there. But yes, if you are self-employed, in a month you might make about £5,000, and in the next month you might make about £20,000. Yes, because you would have had more clients, or you could make less. That is what the business is with being self-employed. So I do not want you to go away thinking, I'm going to become a barrister and I'm going to make £1,000,000 in a year. Very far from it. If you have just started, you need to remember why you chose the law. You need to have passion, because you need a lot of experience to build up to £1,000,000 a year. I have instructed silks. If you do not know, silks are like the highest rank of barristers. They're called QC, meaning Queen's Counsel. I have instructed silks that I have paid £150,000 for a hearing. Not one day, I'm not going to say how many days, but if you're making £150,000 in a month, then yes, you can make £1,000,000 in a year. Follow? So barristers who work in the courts carrying out legal aid work in criminal law cases do not get as much money as their counterparts who work in top commercial sets. That is a given. So again, where you work will determine to a great extent how much you bring in. Also, if you get £1,000,000 in a year, it doesn't mean that you will keep the £1,000,000 the more money you earn in England and Wales, the more tax you have to pay, the higher your tax band. So you will need to pay tax on that money, you will need to pay for your clerks, you will need to pay rent to chambers, and if the chambers belongs to you, obviously a lot of that money will be spent running the chambers. You will need to pay insurance. Our insurance as solicitors or barristers is very, very high, so you don't necessarily keep the £1 million, but it is good money. Someone who works in the criminal law courts or works in an establishment that pays them on a contract, example, your salary is £50,000 a year, would not be able to make £1 million. But if you are fee sharing, if you are self-employed, it's possible that you can make that kind of money, because for self-employed people, the sky is their limit. You can make as much money and fee share with your employer or with chambers. That means that if you were to broker a deal and you make, for instance, £20,000 in a month, chambers or whoever your employers are that you are fee sharing with will take maybe 50% and you keep 50%. The next month you might make £30,000, and can you imagine if you keep 50%, they keep 50%. So someone who is self-employed would make more money than someone who had a fixed salary. I'm not advocating that you become self-employed. I am just telling you how it works in practice. Also, someone who works for a fixed salary but is allowed to fee share, because that can happen. You can have a fixed salary of say £50,000, but you're allowed to fee share on, you know, if maybe you brought in your own client or anything, just depends what your agreement is with your employer, then you would definitely make a lot of money. So if a person was working in a commercial establishment where they get bonuses and they get some money from deals that they broker, yes, they can get £1 million, because if they are getting a percentage of a £2 million deal and that percentage is fixed, then they will be taking home a lot of money. But things to consider are the nature of work of the barrister, the area of law of the barrister, the barrister's experience and hourly fees, who the barrister works for, the location of the barrister, the outgoings and the incomings of the barrister. So, location, where are you based? If you're in London, you'll make more money. Area of law, commercial, you'll make more money than someone who was a criminal law barrister and gets paid by the legal aid agency. If you are a tax specialist, you can make as good as £900 per hour as a barrister. So that is area of law as well. Also, your hourly fees. So if you worked in chambers and you were a junior and your hourly fees were say £200 plus VAT, even though you work same hours as a silk, you definitely will be making no near £1 million as a silk. A silk can make a lot of money. They are Queen's Bench. I almost even whistle there. QCs are Queen's Counsel, not Queen's Bench. But before you get to silk, you be clever like that. But yes, there are many silks and there are some very young ones. So it is really, really possible. Also, your outgoings. There are other things to consider. Also, like I said, if you are not very popular or you are just starting out and a lot of people do not know you. So there's so much that goes into how much a barrister makes and how much they can actually keep. I have instructed silks that I have paid £150,000 for a hearing. Not one day, I'm not going to say how many days, but if you're making £150,000 in a month, then yes, you can make £1 million in a year. Follow? But you do not become a silk QC in one day. is a lot of work that goes in. Even when you sit with silks, feels like they have replaced their brains with machines because they are that good. So I would say make sure that your reason for practicing law is because you like the law, and there is so much that would come with your love for the law. I hope that this video has been helpful. Do not forget to like, to subscribe, share. Feel free to leave your message down there. I will try as much as possible to respond to your messages. Are you interested in videos concerning barristers or solicitors? I want to know. Drop your comments. Bye for now, it's Delphine, and it's been nice talking to you. I'll see you later. Bye now.